Turn off your lights. Make sure your doors and windows are locked. Things are about to get spooky.
The lady under the stream will ask you to come closer. Don't do it. By YoungDecrepit. Growing up, my parents and I lived in a large house in the country with miles of woods behind it. As an only child, I spent my days alone exploring the vast wilderness. A small stream ran through the heart of the woods, hidden behind thick foliage. I remember crawling underneath pine trees and through thick bushes, my hands caked with sap and dirt. It was exhilarating. The stream was special in a way that's hard to describe. When you're young, the world feels open and alive, huge and beyond comprehension. The stream felt otherworldly, especially late at night. The old pine trees would sway in the warm summer breeze as I gazed at the stars overhead. A woman lived under the stream. The first time I saw her was on a bright summer day. I convinced myself it was the sun gleaming off the water in a strange way. But when I came back later that night, she was still there, the moon gleaming against her dream-like form. She was like a reflection or a shadow, hazy and distant, but ever present. Her long black hair floated upwards, but never broke the water's surface. Her pale skin was almost reflective, like a doll made of glass. The most striking thing about the woman were her eyes. They never blinked, their brown effervescence staring up at you with a daunting vitality. Whenever I approached the water's edge, her arms would float upwards as if reaching out. Her expression was always blank and unmoving. She mouthed one phrase, bubbles escaped her lips and popped at the water's surface. "Come closer." I never did come closer. Sometimes I sit on the edge of the stream staring back at her. When I told my parents about the lady under the stream, the concerned look in their eyes told me I should keep it to myself. My first girlfriend was named Tara. The main thing we had in common was that we were both lonely teenagers. Some would have even labeled us as disturbed. Scars from cutting marked Tara's skin. She caught me looking at them one day in class. It was the first time we met. "You got a problem, dweeb?" I looked up into Tara's eyes. They were brown, just like the lady under the stream. The kids seen nearby tensed up. Tara was known for acts of violence. I shrugged. "Nah, no problem. I was just wondering how much it hurt." She was taken aback, not so much by the question, more so by the tone of my voice. I wasn't mocking her. I was asking a genuine question. "Yeah," she said. "That's the point, moron." My eyes moved down to her black lipstick, then down even further to her oversized shirt she wore. It had a barely legible band logo on it, the kind of bands make when they want to let you know they're nasty and unpleasant. "Obituary," I said plainly. "Good band." After that, we hit it off. It wasn't long before we were skipping class and making out underneath the bleachers where no one would find us. I still remember the taste for black lipstick. It's strange the things you remember, especially when it comes to your first love. Tara's the only person I ever brought to the stream. We made love under the moonlight. The echoing croaks of frogs, our only love ballad. Looking back, it was strange and awkward, as first times usually are. But at the time, I thought I was in love. Maybe I was. "You come out here a lot?" Tara asked as we both dressed next to the streaming water. "Yeah, it's pretty much my favorite place. My parents don't really care what I do. Never have." Tara made a relatable scoffing sound as she stepped into her pants. "I feel that. Sometimes I wonder if my parents even know I'm alive." Tara's eyes moved to the stream as she buckled up her pants. In the moonlight, you could see the bubbles popping on the water's surface. She began to move forward. I grabbed her arm. "Wait." She yanked away, continuing to the water's edge. The lady in the stream reached upwards as she always did, her deadpan face a nightmarish vision in the dim moonlight. "Come closer," she mouthed. "What the fuck?" Tara began reaching forward. "Stop!" I wailed, pulling her back. Tara turned to look at me. "What is that?" I don't know. She's been out here since I was a kid. I wouldn't get too close." Instinctively, I never trust a lady in the water. Tara didn't have the same instinct. She turned and got to her knees in front of the stream. The two gazed at each other. "She's beautiful." I didn't know what to say as Tara reached towards the water, one finger gently touching the ever-moving stream. My eyes grew wide as my heart pounded as a lady in the water reached out in return. Her fingers broke the surface, sending ripples of fear through my spine. I wanted to run forward and tear Tara away, but my feet remained planted in place. The hand reached upwards, the lady's skin reflecting the moonlight the same way water reflects sunlight. Tara seemed enamored as the lady reached higher and higher till she gently wrapped her fingers around Tara's bicep. The lady's face almost broke the water's surface as a gentle but haunting smile spread across her faint lips. I'll never forget that smile. "She's cold." That's the last thing I ever heard Tara say. Quick as lightning, she was pulled under. The water made no motion as she disappeared into the stream's innards. "Tara!" My screams echoed in the night, followed by the sounds of an owl hooting in the distance. I ran to the water's edge. The lady was gone, replaced by Tara. She wore the same blank expression as her skin had transformed into an unnatural translucence. Her eyes quivered in fear as her hand reached towards me. The cuts were still visible on her arms. "Come closer," she mouthed the words. I started crying by the water's edge till the sun came up. When I finally made it back home, I told my parents everything. They were deeply confused, telling me there was no girl named Tara and no stream in the woods. There was no body of water anywhere near where we lived. I was sent to a shrink. Eventually, I learned to just not talk about it. No one believed me. I was just another disturbed teen. No one at school remembered Tara. It was as if she had never existed. My love for the woods died, and as soon as I was 18, I dropped out of school and skipped town. Recently, for the first time in a very long time, I visited home. My parents were shocked to see me. We hadn't spoken in years. They were deeply uncomfortable as they introduced me to my little brother. He was just as shocked as I was. Apparently, I had never come up in conversation. That's okay. It seemed like my parents pay more attention to him than they did me. That's all I can ask for. My last night at home, I snuck out back into the woods. I crawled underneath the tall pines and through the thick bushes. I was covered in dirt and sap as I emerged on the other side. The stream was just as I remembered it. It's like the moon itself never changed in this strange place. I saw the bubbles breaking on the water's surface and made my way over. Tara still lays at the bottom. Her face is empty, her eyes unblinking. I sat on the water's edge the whole night, searching her eyes for any hint of forgiveness or love. All I got was her mouthing the same words over and over. Come closer. I screamed for help as the waves pummeled me, and I knew that help was only a mere 100 meters away. I watched my father physically restraining the male lifeguards and wishing that he didn't believe in this ridiculous belief that only their husband should ever touch a woman. The Fifth Voice by Random Appalachian 468. I'm writing this because I know I won't make it. I can hear them even now, screaming, shrieking, wailing faintly on the wind as it claws through the icy trees. They're always near, and yet just out of sight, waiting until I turn to hide so that I can catch mere glimpses of shapes. Distant faces peering around rocks or tree trunks. Outlines of bodies, upright and two-legged, standing crooked among the undergrowth. Flashes of color, hair, or movement. They don't leave tracks, or if they do, I haven't found their trails yet. I've been stumbling over my own footprints for hours on end, but never theirs. I'm too tired to question why. Why they follow me, why I can't find my way out, why they sound so human. Maybe a frightened part of me doesn't want a real answer. Maybe a deeper part already knows. There are 4 of them, from what I can tell. 2 sound like young women, their voices filled with pain and fear on the frigid breeze. Another carries the tone of an old man. His a cry of sadness and terror that caused my throat to clear up. They move along the mountainside, calling to one another, shouting for me, always with those strange broken wails that catch me off guard every time. Help me, please. Where are you? The 4th one never screams. She sings. I say she because I've never actually seen a thing or caught a glimpse of her moving like the others, but it uses a woman's voice, richest and clearest of all. She is never frightened, pained, or sad, but calm, somber, persistent, as a mother might hum a lullaby to her infant. While the first 3 voices waver at the end of each syllable, frayed, warped, and destroyed like a bad recording on vinyl, the 4th grows only stronger the further I go into the frozen labyrinth. When the other 3 fall silent, usually when I made too much noise, moved too fast, or in the beginning when I foolishly shouted back, the 4th will raise her voice from the darkness and fill the space between the trees with wordless, silken intonation. She never uses words, just haunting melodies that flows and ebbs and scatter reverberations so that I can never pinpoint exactly where she is. Sometimes it sounds like she's far away, other times so close that I think I can almost hear the sound of feet in the snow as they pace slowly through the forest. The others may try to scream over one another, call to each other as if frantic in their search for me, but they never challenge the 4th one. I'm not sure at this point that she isn't the only one making all 4 voices herself, though it makes my skin crawl to think so. Nothing can move that fast, cover so much distance, be in multiple places at once, or perfectly mimic so many different voices. Nothing I know of, anyway. The only reason I know that the 4th is close is the smell. which is strong even in the blowing wind of the northern mountains. Roses. An overpowering, fermenting stench like the interior of a greenhouse left to boil under the heat of a midsummer sun. Wet soil and old roots, sweet decay and stale blossoms. They permeate the air every time an unseen foe gets too close. I run whenever that smell rises, not visible in any sort of cloud or plume, but too strong to ignore. Anyways, they chase me, the four voices in the cold, feet crushing the ice and snow, a mixture of crunches and wet slaps that tell me they wear no shoes. No shoes and no tracks, yet they close in all the same. Hours have passed, and I don't know where I am anymore. I used to hike this mountain often, came here to hunt, to camp, to think in refreshing silence only the wilderness can afford. It isn't hard to get off a mountain. You simply follow the slope downward and let the creeks or rivers lead you to civilization. From the west and southern slopes, I remember being able to see a town in the valley below, a dozen or so miles distance at most. Yet, no matter where I go, the voices follow, hounding me, corralling me, boxing me in. I lost the North Slope a long time ago. I must be somewhere in the southeast now, not far from the summit. Every time I move, every time I change direction, they know and draw closer with recycled shrieks that no longer sound so pitiful to me. They aren't afraid, hurt, or sad. They're excited. It's the blood that draws them, I know it. I didn't see the fallen log on one of my mad dashes to escape and tumbled into a narrow ravine. The snow covered the jagged log on the bottom, but not enough to break my fall. My left calf aches, the few bandages I had already soaked through, and every step I take leaves a little droplet of crimson on the perfect white drifts. If I ever had a prayer of getting away, it's gone now. The trails have vanished, and it seems I go in circles. As the sun falls beneath the horizon, there is no light, no glow of distant mankind, no twinkling of urban safety. Once, I thought I spotted a large stone house in a clearing downslope, but the voices cut me off before I could run to it. I've come across piles of bones, arranged in stacks bound with strange fibrous twine, each topped with a single animal skull. Rabbits, voles, turtles, they're all small. The pillars only knee-high, but I glimpsed 5 similar structures around the stone house that was taller. I think one had an elk skull on it. These markings span through the forest everywhere I look, as if an enormous web binding me inside the ice-ridden tree line. I didn't notice them when I first climbed the northern slope in the morning, but here in the south they seem to be around every bend, every tree, always watching me with those dark, hollow eye sockets of dried-out bone. Sometimes, if I lean close, I think I can hear them whispering to each other. The night is coming, and with it, the last of my strength has drained. I've managed to find this narrow hole in the rocks, less a cave and more a crevice between the mountain's tough granite skin. What little wood I dared to gather now burns at the entrance, with me huddled inside, back pressed to the frigid stone. As daylight fades below the mountains, I am numb below my knees, exhausted and dizzy from pushing myself far too hard. Running is out of the question, as if I could evade whatever it is that screams with human voices in the welling shadows. My old rifle sits across both legs like a loyal hound, ready to fight with me one last time, though I doubt it will halt my pursuers. I can smell the roses now, both sweet and pungent, whispers swirling in the gloom, hands grapple at the ice, and fleet skittering across the stone beneath the snow. Something thin and dark moves between the pines outside in a slow, graceful stride. The screams have died away, but I know they're still out there, watching, waiting as my fire burns low and the cold seeps in. There are 4 voices hiding amongst the trees. Soon, there will be a 5th.
This message was transcribed from a note found on the southeastern face of Smoke Point Mountain during search and rescue operations for Richard Samuel Droville, who went missing on February 6th. Signature comparisons revealed to be Richard's handwriting, and a vehicle was recovered from the trailhead parking lot, later confirmed to be a match to Droville's registration history. He was last seen in the northern trailhead of the Smoke Point Wildlife Zone, wearing dark brown overalls, a green jacket, and a black wool cap. Richard is a 37-year-old, 5'11", 178 pounds, Caucasian male from Boise, Idaho. He has brown hair, brown eyes, and at the time of posting, has been missing for 14 days. No other personal belongings or physical evidence have been found at this time. Local authorities from Jacobs Fork Search and Rescue, as well as the Sheriff's Department, have asked for anyone with information concerning the whereabouts of Richard to please come forward.
Everyone told me that the crushing exhaustion of the newborn phase would instantly vanish the very first time my baby smiled at me. Today he finally smiled, but his lips peeled back to reveal the exact same jagged adult teeth as the thing that used to stand at the edge of the woods when I was a child. And with that, our time together is coming to an end. If you have a story you'd like me to narrate, whether true or fictional, you can send it my way 3 different ways. All the links are down below, including the ones to my socials. And of course, I'd like to thank the writers who let me read their stories this evening. 2 stories of ladylike beings you wouldn't want to meet in the forest. A lady stuck at the bottom of a river, mouthing "come closer," and if you do, she takes your form and seems to erase you from the world around you. It makes me wonder, how many times has this being done this? Them being chased by voices, hearing their steps, seeing glimpses of them, but just one singing, always singing in the silence. It makes me wonder what that stone cabin was. And, well, now we know what the 5th voice is. Poor Richard. And the outro to that story was done by my wonderful friend Phoenix Fire from Back to Ashes. If you want to check him out, which I do highly recommend, his links will be down below for you guys. Thank you, Phoenix. Now, if you enjoyed these stories, hit that like button and make sure it feels it. If you're new, please subscribe and turn that pretty little bell to all notifications. And of course, because this is a smaller channel, please hype this video so new people can find it as well. And I would absolutely love a comment. Tell me what you thought, what kind of stories you like in the future. I absolutely love reading comments. And of course, if you got this far, put in "no rivers around here" so I know you got this far. If you're listening on the podcast and are able to, please leave a review and a comment. And please share this podcast and channel with anyone who might enjoy it. It helps quite a bit. If you're willing to help in a more financial way, I do have Patreon and memberships where you get early access and a few other bonuses. If you just want to do a one-time tip thing, I do have PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, and Super Things. As always, all the links are down below for you guys. But really, thank you for watching and listening. It always has and always will mean the world to me. And on a side tangent, I record this outro from beginning to end every single time. It's always a new recording. Now, sleep tight and don't let 42 bite.